Welcome to week 5. I know you've been looking at Dad's face for the last few weeks, and now I'm going to take you through the steps for this week and the signals for the next few weeks, actually. So we're going to be looking at the AO this week, which is the oscillator, our 534. It reads the momentum of the market. It creates 3 different signals. It reads Elliott wave, and it also tells us about divergence, which is part of the Elliott wave, and some of our magic bullets, which you'll hear about in week 9. So we're going to cover this week. Make sure you spend a good bit of time looking at the AO. It is a very important part of trading. Sometimes I say you could really trade off the AO and never see a price chart. Just simply buy and sell at the market looking at the different momentum peaks. But that's too easy. We're going to go through, you're going to learn the signals, practice with the signals, place them in the market, and it'll be one more piece of the puzzle that we're starting to put together. Today our goal is going to be able to understand how to identify a saucer buy from the awesome oscillator. So let's go ahead and take a look. What the AO is. First thing we need to know is understand what it is and what it does. So the awesome oscillator measures the immediate momentum of the past 5 price bars compared to the momentum of the last 34 price bars. It is a 34-bar simple moving average of the bar's midpoints, which means the high-low divided by 2, and then we subtract that from a 5-bar simple moving average of the midpoints, high-low divided by 2. From there you can see it plotted in a histogram format. Now from the AO we've developed a few different signals. Besides being able to read your Elliott wave, you're also going to have the signals. First one you're going to look at will be the saucer. The next one we're going to look at will be the cross, or the cross the line. And the third and final signal will be the twin peaks. Now remember, as I'm talking about the buy signals, when we go through the sells, it's going to be just the opposite of the buys. Now you're going to take a look at what the oscillator is, or what it looks like. You need to keep in mind that we've got these bars colored. When you notice a red bar, you know it's going to be lower than the previous bar. Okay, now I'm going to go along with the cursor and show you what I'm talking about. If you notice here below the 0 line, where we're looking at negative numbers, the bars are red when it's increasing, or lower than the previous bar. Now you're going to see the bars turn green because they're higher than the immediate preceding bar. So when we're in an uptrend, you'll see it coming up green, or when we're above 0, and we're above 0 and it's lower, the next bar is lower, you're going to see red coming down all the way, then it will flip on the bottom. So just remember, your red bars mean it's lower than the previous bar, and your green bar means that it's higher than the previous bar. So let's go ahead now and try to see how we're going to put together a saucer buy. First thing we want to talk about are going to be the rules for the saucer buy. All your bars must be above 0. Your signal bar will be a green bar. And try to remember that you're never going to have a sell signal on a green bar. You'll only generate buy signals with green bars. It's going to take a minimum of 3 bars to create this signal. Now that's the minimum. You can have many more bars in between, and I'll show you what we're talking about later, but it takes a minimum of at least 3. You cannot have a buy and a sell at the same time, and after you create a signal, you must have a change of color or direction before creating another signal. The only exception there will be if you cross the line after you've had a signal, and we'll go into that in more detail as we go through. Okay, so here we are. We're going to take a look at how to create the saucer buy before we actually look at it on a chart. Here is represented the 0 line, which you saw previously in that chart where we talked about above and below being positive and negative. So anything above will be a positive, anything below will be a negative number. In this case, we've come up to point A, which is the first green bar, labeled at A. Now when you go through your notes, you will see the description of A, B, and C. Throughout this video, I'm simply going to describe it to you. So you will have this in written format. Don't panic. Just pay attention to what I'm talking about right now. So here's A, is going to be what you're seeing is momentum has come up. Then B comes out, which is a red bar. Momentum has pulled back. It has pulled down. The next thing that happens is we have another green bar, another higher high. From this point to this point, we've created a saucer. Think about a saucer as a cup. Well, the saucer is the same color on both sides. The whole thing is one color, but what you have inside may be a different color, whether it's coffee, Coke, whatever you drink. So a lot of times I think about that. I'm looking for my saucer to be the edges, and then my different color, or the red bar, it has to be a red bar, will be in the middle. And there can also be 15 red bars here, not just one. This is a pristine example of a saucer buy. So at C, that is your signal bar. What you'll do is then go to the price bar, add 1 tick to the high, and that will be your signal bar. So let's go ahead and take a look at it on a chart. Okay, here we are. Now, I've got a few saucer buys on here, so let's just go through them. First thing, you see the momentum is increasing all the way up. Then you had a pullback. The market pulled back, momentum changed. And notice there's 2 bars here, not 1. The next bar comes out, and momentum is come back up again. You've seen it increasing. At that point, that is your trigger bar. You follow that bar up. Here's the price bar. Notice this is the open, this is the close, and the high. So 1 tick above the high is where our buy stop will be placed. If you notice the next day, the buy stop was filled. Now again, we have created another saucer buy here. We had an upward peak in momentum. It pulled back, red bars, lower highs, and then it came up again. So this is the trigger bar again. Follow that bar up, 1 tick above the high, and you'll see that it was filled the next day. Now that's fairly simple, and the saucer buy really is fairly simple. You're going to notice as we go through that all these signals have different meanings. They're all important. Don't try to judge them or don't try to classify them right now. And the other thing to keep in mind is that we do not have the alligator on screen here. The reason I don't have it up is because I want you to concentrate on learning the signal right now. Once we've learned all the parts to the puzzle, we'll then put it together. So at this point, just concentrate on learning the signals. Okay, so here's an example of some other saucer buys. Remember I said there could be more than 1 bar in between? In this example, I have 4 reds in between. So momentum decreased 4 bars before it pulled back up. But where it pulled up here is your signal bar. You would follow that up to the corresponding price bar and add 1 tick to the high. In this occasion here, you notice from this point to this point's a saucer, from this point to this point's a saucer, and again here, and again here. So you can continue creating saucers between each one. There was a change. We had to have a change to create it. Now notice down here what we have written. Remember, all buy signals will be triggered by a green bar. It's very important. There can be more than 3 bars in a saucer. You see that here. We've got 6 bars in this saucer. To create a new buy signal, all you need is a change in direction. You see that each time here. And it only takes 3 bars to create a saucer, which you really notice that here in the first one. So this is the saucer buy. It's not a big day, but it's a good bit of information. And now I suggest that you go back to your computoral, to your workbook, and you go through and you practice some. If you have any questions, of course, you can always let us know. This is the end of day 1 of week 5, and we'll see you tomorrow.